what this has been for you, how difficult it has been, and how happy you are that.
When do we start that?
Well, let's get us on screen. I know you're ready to go. Hold on. All right, so for everybody on Zoom, I'm hoping you can hear us and see us. My name is Sasha Phillips. I am a family's attorney. Right next to me is Malphine Fogel, Marc Fogel's almost 96-year-old mother. Her birthday is coming up in March, on March 11th. And what a fantastic birthday present it is. So, Malphine, just please tell us what you're feeling right now. Tell us the whole story. Talk about this. Tell us anything you want to tell us. Mention whoever it is that you want to thank. Just do your best.
You know, it's kind of hard to process this because for the last 3.5 years, it seems like every waking moment was about Marc. And we did hear from him. It could have been worse, but we just didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what his state of mind was, if he was getting enough to eat, if he had hot water. We just didn't know anything, and he told us not to ask any questions. And so when he gets home, I'm sure he will not want to relive these experiences, but maybe over time he'll let things out about how it really was there. But we just couldn't be happier about his coming home. So many people have worked behind the scenes, people that we don't even know, but I really credit President Trump and Reschenthaler and Mike Kelly, and they've all been, and DeLuzio, they've all been interested in Marc's case, and I think have kept up with it. And nobody has done more than Sasha, who has been just a miracle worker, and we'll never pay her back.
I appreciate it. I work for free. For you, I work for free.
Well,
I appreciate the sentiment, but in all fairness, it took everybody to make this happen.
Well, you know, it just is so appreciated, and we'll be grateful for all our lives. And when Marc comes home, you're going to hear it from him, too.
I would love that. I was just sharing with Malphine that I have never actually met Marc in person. It is going to be a great treat to give him a big hug and welcome him home.
And he, you know, he has been so grateful even for the slightest things. But what you've done has been monumental. And, you know, it's just going to be a wonderful meeting.
We're all bits and pieces of the same puzzle, but I'd like to echo you and thank President Trump, of course, Senator McCormick, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Yes, he talked to Marc's sons too.
He did. They just met with him recently.
Yes, and Reschenthaler has, you know, showed an interest, and Mike Kelly has always kept in touch with us to make sure things are progressing. So our political leaders have done their job.
And you remember in July and August when Marc did not come home during that exchange? That we all barely survived.
It was just crushing, and it was terrible for Marc, because he said there were Russian dissidents that were released in that group, and they let Marc, you know, stay over there, and it just is something we're never going to get over.
No, but remember also when you went to that rally and you got to meet with President Trump?
I do.
And what did he tell you?
He said, he went like this, if I get in, he said, I'll get him out. He went like that about 3 times. And I said, well, you've got to remember his name. And he spoke his name. And I think he really has been pushing for this. And I have written him a couple letters. I don't know if he's read them or not, but I have written to him to thank him. And I just think that he has been the instrumental in getting this moving.
Lots of people wrote him many, many letters, right? I mean, there's a whole campaign writing to any and every politician who could have played any role in Marc's case to please bring him home. There was a huge letter campaign that you spearheaded, because I've seen some pictures of you writing those letters, addressing the envelopes.
Yeah, we did. In fact, we did that last Sunday again, and the list is still over there, but we did send them out, but maybe they weren't necessary. But whatever, we did send more out last Sunday.
But there's still work to be done, right? When Mark comes home, also tell me what's going to happen when Mark comes home.
When Mark comes, I think I'm going to feed him. I'll make sure I have all the things he likes. But of course, we got to get him. He's got to see his wife and kids. That's the utmost importance. I want them to have their time together.
Yes.
And then maybe the next day or the day after that, he'll come up here and we'll really get together. And he just has always been so appreciative about the slightest things. But this is, this is beyond the pale. He is going to be so grateful to everybody. And I know I have rarely gone anywhere. People, strangers, have said to me, "Are you Marc Fogel's mother?" They actually recognize me from being on the news, I guess. But that is the truth. I can't tell you how many people have asked me if I'm Marc's mother, and they're all praying for him, and I think they are.
Well, of course.
And I think they have.
Of course. And how can they not recognize you? So you have been absolutely instrumental, Mark's greatest champion.
Well, I should be, but I don't know that I've done anything in particular. I just, other than praying, I just pray.
You have sued the U.S. government to have him designated as wrongfully detained, didn't you?
Well, I think that was the right move, thanks to, where is he?
we have Ed Phillips here, the
Thanks,
lawyer
Ed,
who
yeah.
brought that about.
I think that probably helped.
I think everything helped. You also went to a rally at the fairgrounds in Butler, and you climbed those bleachers, right? And you sat behind President Trump, and I think Senator McCormick was there as well.
Yes. All the local, Mike Kelly, they were all there.
Yes.
Muser, Parnell, they were all there, and they were all rooting for Marc, and they all showed up. Yeah, I was there, and I talked to the president, and he couldn't have been nicer. And I have a hard time moving around, and he said, "Grab my arm." And I did, and I told him, I said, "You've got to remember Marc's name." I said, "We've got to get him home." And he said, if I win, he said, "I'll get him out."
Malphine, could you tell us what the phone call was like with Marc today?
Today, well, he called, and it was an unusual time, and I said, he always calls me, and he says, "Buongiorno," which is good day in Italian. And he said, "Buongiorno." I said, "Well, this is the wrong time for you to be calling." And he said, I said, "Where are you?" He said, "I'm in the Moscow airport. I'm waiting for a plane." He said, "I should be in Washington tonight. I'm coming home," he said.
What was your reaction then?
Oh, well, you know what? As I said before, I just got dizzy. I thought, did I get this right? I really couldn't process it. And I said, "What did you say?" He said, "I'm coming home. And hopefully he'll be there sometime tonight." And, he talked to Jane, his wife, and talked to Ethan, and they're making arrangements when they find out for sure what the plans are to either meet him there or fly down or do something. But he'll have time with his family, which is the big thing.
You called it crushing when he wasn't included in that swap back in August, but you've never given up hope. You said you've been praying every single day.
Oh,
What's that been like for you?
My entire family. I said, God is tired of hearing from us. He is. We have prayed rosaries every night at 9:30, my sisters and I, and I think it helps. Mentally, it helps, and I think that God listened to us. So if he gets home tonight.
Malphine, you're going to turn 96
Yeah.
this week. Did you ever have any doubt that you may not
Yes,
see Marc
many.
again?
Many. I really wondered if I'd get to see him again. And I think he did too. I think he worried about it. And it was always, "How are you feeling? What's going on? What have you been doing?" He's always been trying to get information from me to see how, which I never had any complaints. But he, was very concerned about that. And as I say, I have been too. I think, anything could happen. And, well, we haven't seen him yet, but we're getting closer.
Speaking about that, have you gotten any information just when he will arrive in Pittsburgh?
I haven't. I don't know if Jane has. I talked to Jane today, and she didn't say for sure. She thought he was coming into Washington, D.C. tonight, and she thought they would drive down, she and the boys. But they were worried about what to do with the car, so then they decided they would go down, they would fly down, check on flights. So I'm not sure where that stands right now. But, he, as long as he gets to see his family, that's the big thing,
Yeah, we don't have a confirmation yet, but there's certainly a welcome wagon that's being preparing for Mark's arrival with his friends and family members and everybody else who's been helping out on his case. So as soon as he gets to Pittsburgh, I'm sure there'll be lots and lots of people who would want to see him.
President Trump said that he plans to meet him tonight at 10 o'clock.
He said,
President Trump has said that, yes, he plans
where
to
did you
meet
get that?
I think he tweeted it earlier, just a little while ago.
You guys are doing a better job than we
Are you serious?
He's saying 10 o'clock tonight, he plans to meet your son. Yes.
So he must be planning on getting in at 10.
So there you go. So that, what is that, now that you kind of know that there's a finite, meeting time here tonight.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? I saw your face just lit up when you heard that.
Oh my, that's great news. That's great news. Because we haven't seen anything in writing or talked to anybody. Oh my.
Yeah, that's just 4.5 hours away now. 3.5 years and now 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I'm getting goosebumps. You have to realize this has been a story of just crushed hopes throughout, right? In August, we were hoping that he would be on that plane with everybody coming in, and that didn't happen. That was probably one of the hardest moments.
Oh, that crushed
For
him, Mark.
everybody. For
That
everybody.
really crushed Mark. He said they released Russian dissidents, and he said they left me over here.
Yeah.
Why?
And then, of course, when Brittany Griner came home for the same exact, for conviction for the same exact crime that Mark allegedly had committed, it was the same deal. We were expecting Mark to be there, to come home as well. And when he wasn't, again, another crushed hope. So I think this is a very cautious optimism and hope we're finally allowing ourselves
Yeah,
to
you just
feel.
can't make yourself
Yes.
believe it until
But until
you get
he
to-
walks through that door.
Right. I just want to touch him. Feed him.
Yes.
You're
But-
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just ask, did you have any idea that this was happening, that there was a plane over there to bring him back? Was there any
No,
clue that?
for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I felt a little more optimistic the last few weeks, and I don't really know why, because I didn't have any information and inside information or anything, but it just seemed like maybe after President Trump got in that we were hoping that he would be the spark, that would get him moving, and I think he was. I think he was.
What are the next steps for Mark? I know your attorney talked about, he comes back to Western Pennsylvania.
I don't know. I don't know what. I think it's going to take him just a long time to come down and to realize that he's home, and I think he's going to want to take in every sight. He'll go over to the football to watch the Steelers. He'll watch the Pirates. He will immerse himself. He will absolutely immerse himself in his former life. I think he will.
Well, I think another important key thing to here is that, Mark has been, so think of it as not as a complete isolation, but near isolation, where he has not been able to learn, anything about what was going on here, what was going on behind the scenes, what happened. He was under impression in August that America forgot about him, that he was forgotten and left behind. And that was the most painful thing to watch. So it's going to be, once he gets home, number one, he's going to know right away that America did not forget about him. So for these 3 years, there have been people working day and night and thinking day and night about him and about bringing him home. And so again, it will take every single one of us to make him whole. There's been a lot of
And every minute, I think he'll need every minute of assurance.
yes, that we're proud of him, that
Yeah.
we're proud of what we're very empathetic with what he had gone through. We can't imagine this. I mean, I can't imagine what it took for him to survive these 3 years, but we're proud of him for making it. We're proud that he is the son of Pennsylvania. We're happy to bring him home. We're very proud of him. Whatever allegations, whatever convictions he received, that's all in Russia, that's behind him. He is wonderful. He had done nothing wrong. He's an amazing, amazing person. He has people who remembered that he taught years and years and years ago, and they're very happy to welcome him.
You know,
to talk
some of
about
his
him.
students came here from California to see me.
Yes.
And the one girl says, everybody wanted in Mr. Fogel's class, and it got filled up right away. And she said, I got in Jane's class, but I didn't get in Mark's class. Jane's his wife. She got in her class, but she said, I didn't make it to Mark's class. But he was I know that he was very well liked. He coached the softball team and soccer, I don't know which. But I think he always was approachable as a teacher. I've heard so many people tell me who've had him as a teacher. He was a good teacher. He listened, and even some of his past students from Pittsburgh that he taught for a couple of years in Pittsburgh, and some of his students from California were here to see him, to see me, and talk about Mark.
One made a documentary about you and about
Yes,
Mark.
Max Cartman made a documentary about him, and they showed it at the local theater, at the
Butler,
Penn Theater.
yes,
It's
yes.
well attended.
Yes.
And it just seems so unfair that he's lost 3.5 years of memories, of living, of sharing his children's lives that will never be replaced. They'll never replace that.
Malphine, can you talk just about the joy? I mean, you've dreamed about this moment. I can't imagine your family members to your right are just emotional, crying.
Oh, you know.
Can you talk about the joy that you feel, just the...
Well, you know what? I just want to see him. I just want to touch him, and just. I don't know. He will be a basket case. He will just cry and cry and cry.
But happy tears. this
Yeah,
time.
happy tears.
Happy
yeah.
tears.
Yeah.
You?
Oh, absolutely. But we're gonna hang in there and try to piece his life back together. And he's gonna have a lot of support. A lot of support.
Malphine, why was he over there in the first place?
Pardon?
Why was he over there in the first place? I mean, this
Why
whole...
he taught.
Yeah. So
Well, you know
talk about
what?
that.
He did his student teaching in London, and that gave him the bug. And he went to Colombia, and he went to Venezuela, and he always wanted to go to Russia. And I guess they offered a pretty nice package, and they felt, well, in Russia you can travel all over Europe. It's not that hard to do. And so they liked Russia. They said the people were wonderful. The only complaint he has was that the winters were too long. And, that kind of got him down. He said there would be 5 inches of ice on everything, clear ice on everything. And the winters were hard. But he, this was his last year, and he had made all their plans for when he came home, and everything was shattered.
His 10th and final year, he was going to retire after that.
Yeah, that was his last year. And it really messed up their life because, as far as their financial pension things, they lost that last year, both of them. And so he's going to have some rebuilding to do. But I think he'll have a lot of help. And he'll do his best. He will do his best. He is generally an optimist. And he will find a way.
A half an ounce of medical marijuana,
Right.
14 years in prison.
Yeah.
Do you
And
know?
they said that crime, I'm not sure of this because I haven't confirmed it, but they said that crime in Russia is like 5 months probation.
I'm happy to confirm that, as we
You-
have done a lot of research
that
on
right?
that. Yes,
Yeah,
that is.
okay.
So usually people in a situation like this, where it's, it's a possession of such a small amount of the substance, usually it gets resolved with probation or a deferred sentence or something along the lines, but certainly not 14 years under any circumstances.
He had the
Why did they keep
prescription with him
Yeah, why did they make him stay there that long then?
because he was an American.
He was an American. They were looking for somebody to detain, to hold hostage, and to exchange.
Do you have faith now in the U.S. government?
Well, I certainly have faith in our local politicians. I think they've done everything they could do, and I really was impressed with President Trump. I don't know how that happened and how often would that happen, but I think he really tried to get things moving. And I think our local politicians have been wonderful. I'm not sure about anybody else, but Mike Kelly and Reschenthaler and DeLuzio, I met with all of them. And they were all, and they were all very cooperative.
Yeah.
So that's a pleasant surprise because you don't always hear nice things about politicians, but they did their job, I think. So.
Is there anything else you want to say to our viewers at KDK, or just anything else that you
Well,
want?
I just am so thankful, just thankful that this day has happened. And I know that it took a lot of effort from a lot of people, and it's appreciated. And we're just looking forward to getting Marc home and getting him on a normal path and a normal lifestyle and enjoying his family.
All right, Malphine.
And we certainly appreciate all the prayers. And I know that everybody says that. It's overworked. But I really think everybody meant it. I think they bombarded the heavens with prayers. I really do. And I think that had a big part. And it helped Marc. He was, he was a wishy-washy kind of a religious person. But he changed his tune. He walked to that church a couple times a day, and he said there was nothing there but an altar, and there were no chairs. There was just an altar. And he said he walked there every day a couple times, and it gave him, I think it gave him hope. And I think all in all, the prayers did more than any politician.
Malphine,
I really
thank you
do.
so much. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate you.
And we wish you a happy birthday.
Yes,
early.
happy birthday to you. Great birthday.
Well, I think you ought to all come here next Wednesday and we'll have a toast. You got to bring your own, though.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Malphine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all for. Keep thinking that you
have
might
done
change
for
your mind in a
son.
year.
I will
So.
not, absolutely. As long as I shall live, I have not seen a person do so much for their children as you have.
Well, I don't know that I've done. I don't know.
You have done an insane amount.
Well, we just want him. We want him to walk in that door.
We do, and he will apparently very
yeah.
soon.
I'm the lawyer that filed the.
So I just hope that he can pick up his life and try to get past this, and I think he will. I think
Yes,
it
he
might
will.
take a little time, but I think he will be able to live a normal life and enjoy his family. He really misses his family. Well, you can imagine he's missed
I
3.5 years
cannot
of
imagine.
important years.
How old are his children?
His children, Ethan, I think, is 26, and the other one's 23. So they're out of college and
Yes.
working now.
26,
So
23.
Ethan is also a school teacher
Oh, like his dad, yeah.
and teaches history at Shadyside Academy.
Oh, wow.
So
2 boys?
I think it was hard getting past. He was a Mr. Fogel history teacher, and I think it probably took a while to get acclimated to that title and to make his own. What do I want to say? His own path.
his own identity.
And
Yeah.
he will.
But
What are you gonna say to him?
when?
What are you gonna say to Mark?
Oh, I don't know. Probably nothing.
No way.
Scared.
I don't know.
You're such an inspiration to others.
Yes.
I really wanted
yes.
to point that out.
What?
I said, you're such an inspiration to others. Your pillar of strength, being a mother, and just
Well,
I
you
can't
know,
imagine what you've
what
been
is
through. Just
harder,
your son
really?
is
What
in
would be
outside the
harder
hospital.
than to almost lose a son, you know? And he's a good son. And not that that should matter, but he's a good son, he's a good brother, he's a good husband, he's a good father. He's a good person. He really is.
You've seen how much effort this woman put together. I mean, she is.
I mean, you wrote letters to everybody.
She wrote letters.
Yeah,
she
we
went
wrote
and met
letters,
with politicians. It's not because
Yeah.
you were in Mike Kelly's office several times.
Yeah.
You've met with.
Hey, and I'll tell you, they've all been wonderful.
Yep.
They have really been wonderful.
You met with. This is Tom Mosser right here. So
Oh,
this
my
is,
goodness.
This is our welcome wagon.
Oh
Right
my
here.
goodness.
He goes
Look,
there.
we have cookies for you.
There you go.
That's worth the trip right there.